What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon. Sorry I'm a little late today on this video. Kind of late today. Had a lot going on. Got a couple things I want to talk to you about. First, I'm wearing my No Sean Moreno jersey. It's old, I know, but I wanted to switch it up, so I put that on. Also, too, I have been, having requests from people to do like live, streams and stuff like that. And so, real quick, I'll just explain. Right now, as it stands, the camera on my laptop is not quite sufficient enough for live streams, and the camera that I use actually to do my videos is a, handheld camcorder but it's old. It's an old school one, and it requires, discs and stuff like that. So I actually have to record it on the disc, then transfer it over to my computer and so on and so forth. I'm going to get, hopefully in the near future, a new webcam that will work better for both things. Anyway, and then at which point, I'll start doing some live streams and stuff, probably, half times of games and stuff like that. I'll do special little shows. I'll do more stuff for you as time goes on, and hopefully too it'll have a wider shot so you can see my jerseys and stuff better. But anyway, just want to let you guys know about that. Also, got just a little bit of injury news for you. So, Amendola's been practicing. He's really making a push to play against the Patriots, which is good. It looks like, there's a good possibility he will play. Travis Swanson's been out there, practicing. So, hopefully, he'll make it for this game. That's really big. Unfortunately, and I mean, there's no, there hasn't been any definitive, whatevers yet. It's only Thursday. Tomorrow we'll really know. We'll have a lot more, a much clearer picture. But Xavier Howard did not practice today, and unfortunately, it's looking more and more likely, more and more like he won't play on Sunday, which would suck. That would be kind of, but obviously we don't want to, he's got something with his knee. We don't want to hurt him, more. And, we don't want to hurt him more. So, obviously, if he needs to sit out, then he needs to sit out. But, clearly, that would make things a little bit more difficult for us going into, this game. Having Swanson and Amendola back would make things a little easier. And then, if we, for some reason don't have Xavier Howard, that would make things a little bit more difficult. But anyway, we'll get into more of that as the week goes on and we get some more information with that, and as I get into my preview video and whatnot. But anyway, that's really all I actually got for you guys. On my end, I do have a bunch of interviews for you, some player interviews, Robert Quinn, Torrey McTyer, Kenny Stills. So, we got some of those. And then, of course, it's Coordinator Thursday as well. So you have Adam Gase and whatnot. It's funny, though, because I got all the videos for you. But all of the places that the Dowell Loggins interview got posted, there's no audio to it. I can't seem to find it with audio. I'll keep trying. But if you don't see his interview, that's why. Because there's no point in watching him for 7 minutes when all you're going to do is try and read his lips. So, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the interviews. I hope you guys enjoy my show. And I'm looking forward to being able to do more for you guys as time progresses, and I get my personal life kind of situated a little bit more, and I'm able to invest a little bit more into this. But in the meantime, I do the best I can. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're getting really close to 100 subscribers. I'm getting really excited about that. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the bell if you want the alerts. Make sure you hit the like button as well. I appreciate that. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. I love talking to you, so engage with me. I really appreciate that. You can also hit me up on Twitter. Follow me there. I do retweet, stats and articles and, other things. And I do, tweet out during games and stuff like that. And other occasions as well. So follow me on there. It's at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, guys, I'm out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.
Dolphins nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Yeah, no, obviously it's an honor to be even mentioned in the same breath as Walter Payton, and just to be recognized with 31 other guys across the league for the work that they're doing in their communities and across the country.
And obviously you don't do it for the award, but how important is community work for you?
Yeah, I mean, I know that I wouldn't be where I am without the help of others, and so I never want to forget that. And so it's important for me to give back and try to use the position of power that I have because of what I do to try and help others and be a positive influence.
What would it mean for you to win an award like that?
Honestly, I haven't thought about that, but is it all based off of fan vote?
No.
Who else?
Or, I don't know how exactly they make the decision, but
Committee.
yeah, it's more based off what you do in the community.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't really thought about it, but if it was something that I was recognized by the fans, it'd mean a bunch to me. So I guess I got to look more into who's choosing this, but it'd mean a lot either way.
It's your second time around. How do you not know?
I'm focused on ball. We got the Patriots this week, and it's important for us to win if we want to stay in this hunt. So, I understand, how important it is to be recognized, but I also don't do it for the award, and so I'm really just focused on ball, and then when I get the time, I'll check on the other stuff.
Ken, I want to ask you, with the RV tour that you did last year, I know you mentioned continuing to do it again. Like, is there a plan or a thought process behind that?
Yeah, so my plan is to do the trip again this year, visit a lot of the same places that I visited last year, organizations that I visited last year, and then add a couple stops. I like to keep things low key before we do it because I'm not doing it for media attention, and so I plan on doing that again this year. But I do plan on doing the trip again, and so we're slowly planning things right now. I've got a team kind of helping me reconnect with everyone that I haven't spoken with throughout the season, and then trying to find other organizations that I can work with in other states across the country.
Kenny, Tuesdays are the players' days off. When was the last Tuesday that you actually took off and didn't do any kind of community service?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Probably one of the days that we had to come in and work. If we play on a Thursday night or something, then we don't get the opportunity, to go out in the community. But, I try to, reach out to friends and family, and when people talk to me about what we're doing, I let them know if, you can do one good deed a day, then, we can change the world. And that's what I truly feel. And so, regardless of if it's a day off or during the season or whatever, I just try to do something nice for somebody else and, know that it'll come back to me.
Do you ever run out of energy?
Yeah, I definitely run out of energy, but then, I get in bed and get some sleep and get up and do it again the next day.
What did you learn from the first meeting against the Patriots?
That they're good.
You learned that only then?
Yeah, we learned it then. We were 3-0 at the time.
Yeah.
We went up there and just the same things that you always learn from losing a game. You got to go up there and execute. You can't turn the ball over. You can't have penalties. And, we know we've got to play a good game in order to beat these guys.
When you play against them, why is it they just expose your mistakes the way that they do?
I think the Patriots do a good job of being really fundamentally sound, playing team ball, and allowing the other teams, to mess up, and they capitalize on that. And so, they do a good job of that.
Why have the Dolphins been able to give this team as much trouble as you have down in Miami? I mean, unlike just about any other stadium, when they come here, they have trouble a lot of times.
Yeah, I couldn't give you an honest answer on that. I just know that if we come out and execute and play our game, that we're a good team and we'll be tough to beat.
Kenny, I know we've got a long way to the game, but when does the chirping start with Phins and Kenyon on the playing game?
Oklahoma, it's already started. The Alabama guys are pretty comfortable and confident, but I've got confidence in my guys too, and I'm excited for them to be down here. I'm bummed that I won't get a chance to see them play, But hopefully I can stop by practice and get to holler at those boys and give them a little words of wisdom, some confidence, a little motivation to go into the game.
Did you try to get the Orange Bowl game rescheduled so you could attend?
No. My mom will be here. I know a bunch of friends and family and stuff from Oklahoma will be here. So I think they lost the last time I was there, so I try and stay away from the game.
Uh-oh, here we go. The serious questions. The serious questions.
I'm just more comfortable playing a second-year back at tackle, or how much is it I've made mechanical, technical changes that have improved? Is it both, either?
I really don't. I really don't know. Just trying to play my game, man, as best I can do it. Nothing special, I promise.
Are you pleased with how it's gone?
It can be better.
Okay. Larry, how much would the Pro Bowl mean to you?
That's just a stepping stone, man. I just want to keep it going, and hopefully I get Pro Bowl, All-Pro, and all the things that come with it. Right now, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about winning these 4 games so we can make a playoff appearance.
Larry, offensive line get better, improve in the final months.
Man, just fix our mistakes. We go and watch practice, we watch film, and hopefully fix our mistakes.
How much of what's been going on has been like communications?
A lot of it, man. We started off with 5 guys, and then everybody started going down, then it's the next man up. So communication is the big key, man. We got to stay close together, and that's what offensive lines do.
Laramie, players always say that things could be better, and you're always looking to improve.
Always.
But how much more comfortable are you at left tackle compared to, say, a year ago?
I would say I'm more comfortable with being more experienced, if that makes sense. This is my 3rd year in the league, and last year was my 1st year playing tackle, and this is my 2nd year playing tackle, so I'm more comfortable just being on the lead and being around football, I guess. I don't know how to answer that one.
Toughest guy you faced this season is who?
Toughest guy I faced this season? Man, I still got 4 more games, man. Can I answer that at the end of the season? I still got some guys now. I still got Griffin. I still got 91 from the Jags. I got some guys now. So I don't know. I'll get back with y'all about that one for sure.
Wins or losses, but beyond that, have you emerged from the last 2 games thinking, okay, I was more impactful recently?
I mean, I guess making a few more plays get you excited. But again, at the same time, I know it sounds so nonchalant, but I'm just doing my job. Is pretty simple. I mean, of course, coming out the game with the D lineman with the sack, or TFL, whatever it may be, or a few of them, that's a great day. But but as long as you can keep, like I said, you can build on that 1 week at a time, and as we gel together as a D-line, as a team, as we push forward these last few weeks, I think there's a lot more possibilities out there, so we'll see what happens.
Thanks so much, Robert.
Some of the success begins with the defensive line.
So what?
Do you believe success begins with the defensive line this Sunday against the Pats?
I think it's going to take our whole team. I wish I can just say our whole D-line, but of course Brady gets the credit. But I mean, their defense is pretty solid too. Even though they don't get they make plays when they need to, give Brady opportunities. So it's not just going to be the D-line; it's going to be the whole team, regardless if you're a starter or a backup, whatever. Everyone has an important role, and don't try to overlook your role or make it too big or too small, because each role is important to help this team win. So, again, it kind of starts with everybody. It starts with the man in the mirror, then you can trust your brother to the side of you.
Robert, I'm sorry if you answered this already. As a D lineman, how big of a loss would it be if you guys don't have Xavier on Sunday or any other game moving forward?
Say that again?
Without Xavier with a knee injury, how important has he been for you guys on the D line?
Well, you saw he's been playing great all year. But again, that's not our first injury this year. We just shrug it off, keep next man up. Now, granted, we are going to miss him out there, not trying to just shun that off, but at the same time, it creates an opportunity for someone else. Hopefully, they take advantage. And no disrespect to X, but hopefully we don't even realize he's not out there, because the next man stepped up so well. So, I mean, we can't. Again, we've been facing injuries all year, so this is just another.
The way the first game against New England unfolded provided an extra motivation for this one.
Nah, we just need a win. I mean, you know, you win by 1 point, or you get beat by 50, whatever the case may be. You're just trying to win a game. And the first game against New England wasn't pretty, but that's in the past. They got to come down here on Sunday and see us. So we'll see what happens.
How big of a goal is this for you to, at some point in your career, become a starter?
That's a big goal, but I have a team first mentality, so whatever my role is, that's the role I embrace. So.
Mika really spoke about your speed and kind of how it's underrated or maybe not valued as much. Can you kind of tell us how that's such an asset for you?
It allows me to go out there and play with confidence, because just knowing that I can run with anybody, so that's kind of my greatest asset.
Did you get flashbacks of your college days facing Josh Allen on Sunday?
A little bit. It was fun. It was fun playing him in college, and I look forward to continue to play against him at this level. So.
Did he do that stuff in college? Did he run so much?
Oh yeah, he can definitely hurt you with his legs. So that's definitely what he did in college too.
Well, this guy coming up, he really can't hurt you that much with his legs. You kind of know where he's going to be.
Right.
What's the key against this guy this week?
Just play sound football. Don't make mistakes. So just play within yourself. So.
How hard is that to do? Because everybody wants to do more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So that's kind of the thing. You just don't really want to do more. You just want to play like your technique and just let everything come to you. So once you do that, then plays will fall.
When you have a guy like that who gets rid of the ball pretty quick, does that open up sometimes? I see him sometimes drop back, but it looks like he's just standing flat-footed back there with a ton of time. But does he set that up with all the quick stuff?
Like I said, Tom Brady is one of probably the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. So what he can do is, it's second to none. So.
If you do have a big role on Sunday and Josh Gordon is the guy lined up opposite you, what's the key?
Like I said, my job is to be ready for anybody who I line up against. So no matter if it's Josh Gordon, Chris Hogan, anybody. So it's my job to be ready for whoever I line up against.
Depending on the rankings, you guys are anywhere from first to fifth in special teams, and I think we've asked you this before, but the last couple of weeks, I think special teams have played a huge role. Do you take pride in those rankings? Do you believe that they're justified? How do you think you guys have played this year?
Yeah, as far as the rankings go, I've seen a bunch of different ones. I know some like analytical ones, and there's some ones that use statistics and kind of group them together. And so I think that's why there's a bunch of different ones. Obviously we're always striving to be, at the top of that. I mean, at any of that. I mean, some of them, I think some of them take some with a grain of salt, and I put some more stock into others because, what I deem is more important. I think sometimes statistics might not tell the whole story. I'm very pleased so far through 12 games with, the fact that we've made a lot of big plays and have affected a lot of the games in a positive way. As a special teams coach, you're always looking to change the game in some way, shape, or form, whether that's change the field, flip the field position, make a big play, spark the team. A lot of times you see a special team, you guys have seen enough football in your day that you know that when you watch a game, a special teams play can really change the momentum of the game, whether that's a big return or a block or, a punt that's down, down inside the 10 or whatever. So, that's what we're always looking to do, looking to change the game. Sometimes statistics don't tell the whole story. And so getting back to the rankings part of it, it's great, to get mentioned like that. But I think, to me, as long as we're affecting the game in a positive way, we stay consistent. Those are the things that we really, strive for. And, through 12 games, we've been able to do that. We certainly haven't been perfect. There's certainly some things that I'm not pleased with. I think we can be a little bit more consistent. I don't like the roller coaster ride as much as sometimes we've been on, but I think we've really made some positive plays. And the other nice thing is when you look at our team overall, it hasn't been one person. It hasn't been one-sided. It's been a lot of different people that have affected games in different ways, whether it has been the kicker, the punter, a returner, a core player. There's been a bunch of different guys that have made plays, and so I take a lot of pride in that.
What formula would you use to rank? I mean, you say statistics aren't the end-all, be-all. What criteria would you use to prove?
You know, it really, there's a lot of different ways to attack special teams, so it really depends on what a team is trying to do, for example. There might be teams that are not kicking the ball away into the end zone and are running down and covering more kicks than others. There might be some teams that are pulling the ball out of the end zone more than others, you know, and their kickoff return yards is going to be different. There's different ways to go about the punt game, for example. Some teams are driving the ball far, and maybe their gross number is really high. Some people are striving more for a net type of deal. So there's a bunch of different ways to attack it from a schematic standpoint, and so it really, a lot of that plays into it. So sometimes statistically you may see a really big number for some team and a smaller number for another team, but that smaller number may be more effective for the way they play the game and the way they game plan. So it doesn't always tell the whole story. It tells some of the story, it just doesn't always tell the whole story. But again, I think the good thing is if you look at our special teams throughout the year so far, and again, we're always striving to continue that, is we've made plays in all the different phases. It hasn't been lopsided, and hey, we're just I don't like just being a great return team, but our coverage is lousy. We're being a great coverage team. We've had some balance there, and this is one of the years when you look at from right now through 12 games, we've had a lot of balance in the special teams throughout, all the different phases, and that's been a positive to this point.
When you went to Albuquerque in March, did you know going into that meeting that Jason Sanders is the guy I most like among college kickers, or was he merely part of a group and you had no idea if you would like him or not?
I knew I liked what I saw prior to the visit. I really liked, you really saw a lot of explosion in his leg and different things, and so I was really anxious and I was really looking forward to that visit. I would, at that point, Barry, when I went there, I didn't have a final ranking, and so I did know what I liked what I saw. When I came out of the workout, I was even more pleased when I spent more time with him. It was kind of every step of the way along the journey with Jason. I kind of liked what more and more and more. And we brought him out here for a visit. Just got a chance to spend some time with him and kind of dissect his brain a little bit and kind of his approach, and got to know the person a little bit better. And so it's kind of like, so when I went out there, I wasn't really kind of set in anything yet, but once we kind of finished the process, I think we definitely had him higher on the list than most people did. Yeah.
No doubt. And does the calm demeanor at all mean anything to you in terms of how a kicker comports himself off the field? Does that to you suggest this guy is likely going to be calm in game situations?
Yeah, you definitely look at a personality. I think I mentioned this before with Jason. First of all, he's a very level-headed guy, never too high, never too low. I think that's a really good mindset for a specialist. You've heard me liken it to a golfer before, or a batter in the batter's box, or in some other analogies. I think it's really good to have a calm demeanor. You're never going to be perfect. There's no kicker that's ever been perfect. You're going to have your plays where you have to be able to respond, and so I think that personality is big. And so I do think in my spending time with him throughout the draft process, I got to know him a lot as a person. And to me, coupled with his ability, that's why we thought and would take the risk on him. And I really thought it was a pretty good situation at that point. And I felt very strongly about him as a person going into it.
Can you explain to me all the roles Walt Aikens plays and what he means to your special teams unit?
Yeah, I'll start with what he means. Walt's leadership has really been, the last 2 years has really picked up tremendously in terms of just him being a more vocal guy. I think when Walt first got here, you certainly saw him make some plays, and you certainly saw his athletic ability flash, and you saw him, you saw all that. I think where Walt has taken a major step forward in the last 2 years is in a leadership role and starting to be kind of the role model, if you will, for the special teams room. And so he means an awful lot. His energy, his emotion, you see him on the field. He's definitely a guy, it's a catalyst, if you will, on the sideline. He's very much into the game, emotional guy, energy, effort, all that's really what he means to the room. And so that's really, really important. In terms of the different roles that he plays, Walt's done a little bit of everything for us. I mean, certainly he's a gunner on punt. We move him around in the punt block return game, where he's played he could be a blocker, he could be a rusher, he could be a bunch of different things. On our kickoff team, he's also done a bunch of different things. He's been everything from what we call a speed 5 to a contained player to a safety. So throughout his years here, he's played multiple roles. Same thing in the kick return game. We're able to move him around. Sometimes it might be a matchup, a game plan. But he's very versatile, and he's certainly not a one-trick pony, if you will. He's a guy that we can move around and do a lot of different things with, and so he brings that to the table. In order, special teams are a little bit like a chess match in terms of, you're moving pieces around and kind of trying to predict the opponent's next. No different than offense and defense, but special teams is a little bit more of a matchup game than offense-defense. You see a lot of times if you create some mismatches on special teams, you end up with a either successful or unsuccessful play, depending on which side of it you're on. Walt gives us the ability to move him around and create some of those matchups, maybe some mismatches for us, and he could present some matchup problems for the opponent.
So he's like a Michael Jordan of your special teams unit.
I'm not comparing anybody to Michael Jordan.
The Tom Brady of your special teams unit.
The heat that I'm going to take if I sit here and compare Walt Aikens to Michael Jordan, I got to go in front of all those guys now. No, I got a lot of respect for Michael Jordan. What he does for us is he's able to play a lot of different roles for us. So whatever name you want to throw out there. But I'm happy as heck when we signed him in the offseason. Love having him here. I love what he does every day at practice. He's an energizer guy. He's a guy that gets everybody going. He's always, he gets me going some mornings, to be honest with you. I see him, and he gets me fired up to get in there and get in front of everybody and get the game plan out and get everybody going in the meeting. So it's I can't say enough positive things about him. It's great to have him.
Was it this last game that Charles Harris almost had a punt block?
It was.
How close was it?
I
have a little anxiety about it.
Yeah, we should have blocked the punt. Forget about the scheme and all that. Charles ended up passing the ball. There's I can get real technical on it, but when you're blocking a punt, you really don't want to leave your feet. From a technique standpoint, Charles got a little giddy. I don't know what the word is, but he jumped, and that caused him to kind of miss the ball. We timed it up well. It was a protection breakdown by the opponent, and Charles got there, and the ball went almost behind him. His arms were out, and the ball kind of went. I looked like it went through him, for crying out loud. So, but no, I got upset because those are game-changing plays. That's what I talked about earlier. Those are game-changing plays, and been doing this long enough to know that if you make a game changer like that, it completely changes the football game. And if we can imagine that ball getting blocked and going the other way, whether we score or not, the field position flip's going to be about 40 or 50 yards if we don't score. And so that is, again, it creates a snowball effect and changes the entire game. And so, that was a missed opportunity. A lot of people are, all happy that we tipped the ball, and I'm pissed off because we should have blocked and went the other way with it. And just in my estimation, that was a missed opportunity. But so be it. And that's what I mean about we've made a lot of positive plays, but I feel like in some games there's been some opportunities we've left on the table. That's just one of them. And so that's really what happened on that one. So we did get a piece of it. We did force a bad punt. But it could have been so much better, So those are the little things we just got to get better at. We've had a few of those.
You've been here for a number of years, and you know what it's like when you go to Gillette and how difficult it is to play the Patriots up there. You know that the Patriots in just about every NFL stadium have a pretty good record, and yet down here of late, that's not the case. What is it you see out of your guys as they're getting ready to play the Patriots, especially coming down in December? Is there a change, or what's going on that the Dolphins always seem to play either their best game or one of their best games when they play New England down here?
Well, I think first of all, Hal, I think the natural rivalry certainly has something to do with it. This is our division opponent that's won the division for X amount of years, however many they've won it. You guys know all the stats. And it's certainly a challenge for us every time, whether it's there or here. I think obviously you're always trying to protect your home, and I think if you look throughout our division, I think all of our, if you look at all of our division opponents, I think all of them are pretty darn good at their home. I think we've done a pretty good job, especially since Adam's been here, protecting our home turf. Our win percentage is pretty good at home against everybody, not just the Patriots. And certainly, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that it's not a little extra incentive when you have that. Usually, when they come to town, they're in first place. That's the way the division's gone. It's calling it the truth. And, we certainly know how important the division games are. And so not only the Patriots, but the Bills and the Jets included. Anytime a division opponent is coming in, you treat those division wins like they're a couple of wins. And, because usually those division wins are very, very important. And, so I think that certainly has something to do with it. I think our guys get a little more locked in division opponents. Again, not just the Patriots, but all the division opponents. You're a little bit more, those are natural rivalries because you play those teams twice. And so, you know, I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I know people talk about the weather and all that good stuff, but, you know, I've been here long enough to tell you that, you know, we've also lost to some northern teams here, you know, where the weather maybe didn't affect it. So it's never one thing. I mean, there's always a couple factors involved. But to sit here and tell you our guys don't get a little bit more amped up for the division opponents at home, I'd be fibbing. So I think there's a little bit more extra incentive there, and you know, whatever it is, we've done fairly well against those guys for the last few times here. So, you know, but I think our guys are locked in, and again, usually, like I said, when they come to town, they're usually leading the division. So I think, you know, you're playing the first place team, and your guys are, you know, there's a little more added incentive there.
It's actually not a great tradition. The month of Minka on the boundary, how do you think it's gone? And of course, we're in December, so no one's saying what he's going to be long term. But in your heart of hearts, do you think he'd be just as effective playing there as he would at safety? After seeing him for a month there, or do you still not have enough of a body of work?
You are in my heart of hearts, Barry. You are.
Charming and poignant.
He's done a good job. You know, again, he's. It probably, you know, it had been a while since he's sort of played in that role out there. You know, dating back to earlier in his college career. So, you know, I think there was a little bit more of a learning curve getting up to speed out there than where we were playing him early in the year, kind of inside and safety and moving him around that way a little bit. So, there's still some technique stuff and those sort of things that he's working through. But, you know, I think he's just, again, everywhere we've put him and everywhere we've played him and everything we've asked him to play, he's done a good job with it. So it's hard to say, hey, this to single him in again. Why we drafted him, and one of his, you know, qualities was his versatility. So, you know, I think it's a testament to you know, his work ethic and his character and those sort of things. But you know, I think there was a little bit of a learning curve early, but I think he settled into it pretty quickly, and he's done a good job out there. So, you know, that's hard for me to think long term right now. We're in a week-to-week world, so this week he's going to keep playing out there, and you can ask me the same question next week if you like.
It's for February.
Sure.
In the spirit of Barry Jackson, I'm going to ask a two-part question.
Okay.
How did Charles Clay get so open? And what was going through your mind when the ball was in the air?
I can't cuss though, right? Yeah, golly, man, it's maddening. You know, I hate to say this, it was very similar to the week before. You know, there was a timeout or TV timeout or however we got to the timeout before the play, and Adam and I was going through, hey, there's a couple things I'm thinking about, trying to call and going through this. You know, each one has its strengths and weaknesses, and one of the things we made a point in making the call that we did was, hey, if Allen gets out of the pocket, we have to latch on. It was similar to what happened the week before, where we had him in the grasp and luck got through and kind of things got loose. You know, so we had all the guys in the back end over, said, look, you know, we're going to make this call, and kind of the one thing is, if he starts doing his thing back there, which obviously he had been all day, you know, we have to latch on. And it was kind of, it was such a long play. I mean, he, you know, reversed field about 4 times, you know what I mean? And again, it just got lost in the wash a little bit. I mean, if you watch him, he it's kind of hard to explain, was in the middle of the field and literally in the very back of the end zone, and he just kind of floated there as Allen moved to the defensive right and everyone started kind of drifting that way. He just kept drifting back. He was literally almost hiding in the back of the end zone, then kind of came up through the back end of it. So, you know, not good. There's really a couple people should have had a chance to locate him and didn't. When the ball's in the air, I promise you guys I wasn't going to cuss, so I can't give you my thoughts. I mean, felt like he was in the air for about 3 minutes, you know, one of those slow-mo, you know, heart sinks into your stomach type of thing. So we're fortunate the ball kind of fell a little short and bounced out of there and got away with the win. So we try not to have that happen again.
How do you think Charles Harris has done his first couple games back?
He's done a good job. Again, you know, one of the things we've preached to Charles is just playing fast. He's getting off, playing fast, stop thinking, kind of turn that part of his brain off sometimes. He overthinks some things, and he's been cutting it loose a little bit more and running around playing fast. You know, like I said, he spent he spent his off time, trying to get better in terms of physically and getting a little stronger and doing some of the things in the weight room. So I think that's helped him. He's kind of in good shape and moving around and playing more physical. But I think just for him, again, he's done a good job. Again, we're asking him to just go, just use his explosion, use his speed, use his athleticism, and not let him overthinking things slow that part of his game down. So he's done a better job with that. So he keeps on that track. I think sort of the production and the finishing element will come.
Yeah, with Cornell Armstrong, just from watching him over the last 6 months, obviously, he did enough on special teams to make the team. His development as a corner, what have you seen? What does he do well?
Yeah, he can run. I mean, that was why we brought him in the first place. That was one of the kind of the defining traits. He's got speed. One thing that's been cool with Cornell is it's not too big for him. Every time everything we've asked him to do, he's kind of done it. And coming from where he came from and stuff, you just have a concern if things get too big for him, and it hasn't been. He's kind of a quiet kid, but like he sits in the front row of my meetings and just sits there and pays attention and does everything and doesn't say much. And every time we put him out there, he just kind of does his thing. So I like his demeanor. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't kind of get shook by anything. And again, he has a defining trait that he can run. He's got speed. And again, he's had more opportunity on teams. He's done a good job there from Coordinator Riz and some of those guys. So he's a good guy to have in the program for us.
Did you have a spy on Josh Allen throughout that game?
Yeah, at times, yep.
On that same topic, one thing that was mentioned during the CBS broadcast, James Lofton was saying Kiko was the spy, wondered why Jerome was not. Is that an accurate portrayal? Was Kiko the spy, and if so, why Jerome wasn't?
I mean, we had, we had multiple different calls, multiple different spies. Kiko was at times, Jerome was at times, we had D linemen on him at times. I mean, we had, we had all sorts of things. I mean, even honestly, we were spying on the last play. The problem is when he doesn't, either he doesn't break the pocket, you have a spy where whoever it is, if you have a second level player that drops out and is spying him, like on that last play, he starts running around, it doesn't affect the play. Now you have one less guy kind of chasing him in terms of in a rush, in a pass rush situation. I mean, that's the trade-off you have. You're great if he breaks through and you have a guy spying him to try to overlap in terms of him running, but now he's only got 3-man rush and he's buying time back there, and the spy guy's trying to figure out where to go spy him. He runs that way and you start going there, then he reverses field and you kind of waste him, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we had spy elements at times. We didn't. We had some times where we were in sort of zone coverage or have hole droppers that need to have vision on them and have better discipline staying in their zones and having awareness of those sort of things. So, trust me, we threw a lot of different things at them. We're going to have to refine those when we play them again next time.
The possibility of playing without Xavier Howard makes you feel how?
Is that a real question, or? Yeah, obviously he's a great player. He's been outstanding for us this year. So anytime you have the possibility of not playing with one of your better, if not best players. I mean, but that's this league. Again, we've had a lot of injuries. We've dealt with those things, and it doesn't do me any good to worry about my feelings about it. If he's available to play, he'll play, and if he's not, he's not. And whoever's out in the field's got to get some stops. So I'd try not to spend too much time examining my feelings. I could probably do a lot of woe was me from the whole season. It doesn't really matter. So we'll play with the guys that are ready to play, and if X is one of them, it'll be great. He'll hopefully continue his great season, and if not, we'll figure it out with the rest of them.
Matt, you're in a position of more scrutiny, I would say, than ever in your career. Is that fair?
Sure.
Every year it seems like coaches and some members of the media find someone just to complain about. And your name's come up more than once.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that at all?
Nope. You complain about me?
Do you think level of scrutiny that you're under is fair? Do you think it's at all?
It's part of the job. I mean, it is. That's fine. I signed up for this job freely, in my own free will, and again, I know you guys. I joke with you guys. Like, I really don't. It's a waste of my time to try to get into all that stuff and worry about what people are saying about me. I mean, only people that matter is Adam and Mr. Ross and Mike and Chris and the guys that are in part of this organization. So I don't care, and I don't follow it and don't pay attention to it. It's a waste of my energy to do that. So, but again, we can get into big picture topics about the state of our culture and the media if you really want. Sometimes probably not the time, but I agreed to that, that part of the job when I signed up for this role. So I signed my contract.
I'll give a sense how you've done as coach this year.
I mean, I feel like I've done a good job. I try every week to put our players in the best position to make plays, and done that sometimes. We haven't the other times. I mean, there's calls I regret. There's calls I'm excited about. So again, we're week to week. It's really hard for me to big picture evaluate myself. In the course of a season, I'm trying to win a ball game this week. So again, really, it's the feedback I worry about is Adam and what he cares about and what he wants. I try to give him, what he's looking for as a coach. So that's really all I concern myself with.
With Torrey McTyer, if he's going to have to be in the game, how much do you think he's learned from when he played earlier this season, and how much do you think he'll be picked on by Tom Brady?
I can't speak to their plan of attack.
But Tom Brady's history.
I do. I honestly, I don't know how much we picked on. I think it was funny, I was watching some of our stuff from last year against them, pulled some stuff up, and Torrey played, and he's wearing 33. He's wearing a different number, and I was like, who the hell is 33? I was watching this tape. I couldn't figure it out for 10 minutes. I was watching the game who? I can't remember if he signed somebody late in the season. It took me forever to figure it out. And so Torrey played a little bit, at the end of the season for us last year and played in that game against them here. So, obviously, anytime young players get experience, game time experience, that's part of their growth process, and you'd hope that experience and good or bad, he's had some ups and downs. But contributes to him growing and developing and seeing things more, seeing plays from this offense and those sort of things multiple times. So, again, I can't speak to their target plan or their plan of attack. And, again, we're going to have different guys out there at different spots and try to help them all out.
Last time they showed everybody that, hey, if you run at them, they'll eventually break.
They run at who?
Patriots, at you guys, Dolphins.
If they run at us?
Yes. Yes. They had 180.
Oh, in the running game, you're saying? I thought
yes.
We're off Torrey.
Huh?
We're off Torrey?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Sorry, I wasn't following.
Do you feel like you fixed some of those issues that they sort of put on the table?
Yeah, I think, we've had ups and downs in the run game, downs and ups maybe, if you want to say it that way. We've obviously dedicated a lot of time the last month or so, especially to trying to clean up some of those things, and we've had some moving pieces in the front, on the interior and those sort of things. So, yeah, I do. I think we've addressed a lot of things. Again, last week our rushing numbers looked like crap because of quarterback run around. We did a good job in the actual running game, I thought. So we've been better in that mode really since kind of Houston week-ish, trying to address some of those things. So I feel pretty good about our plan against the run game this week.
You mentioned Allen's rushing totals.
Yeah.
What could have or should have limited that?
Everything. Again, it's something like that. Like to me, there's all three levels are responsible for I don't say those issues, but we got to do a better job in the rush plan of keeping them in. Again, whether it's spies or guys in the back end and zone coverage have to have better eyes and awareness and vision when he does start breaking out. We have to get him on the ground when we have an opportunity to. And we had multiple guys just slip off him or miss, and he's a big guy. That's part of the challenge. He's a big athlete. It's not just like a little quick guy running around. So he shrugged off a couple guys. So I think it's just a multi-layer thing. We saw it the week before. It wasn't, in Jacksonville, he ran around a lot and almost had 100 yards rushing in Jacksonville. And so we were ready for it. I'm not sure if our guys maybe didn't totally understand what was coming, Obviously, he broke out a few times on us, but I think it's got to have the awareness, a disciplined plan in terms of how we're rushing and keeping him in. Again, then the next level players, whether it's a spy, whether it's guys with vision coverage, that if and when he does get out, who the next guy is to clean that thing up. You can't have guys out of their rush lanes or rushes missing a tackle on them, and then nobody with backs turned or no one with vision on them. Then it turns a 5-yard scramble into a 25-yard scramble. So it's a dedicated a disciplined approach from all levels of defense.
We're good.
Thank you.
The right thing for him. Like, when he's ready to go, he'll be ready to go. Like, we can't put him in a bad position where his movement isn't what it needs to be to play at the level that he wants to play at.
Xavier here, Dillon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he came out watching practice, just making sure he knows everything.
Was he on crutches?
No, he was not on crutches.
Adam, the Patriots use James White a variety of ways. Is he like Deion Lewis type of player? I mean, how do you approach defending him?
It's hard because he can do everything. He can come out of the backfield, empty, run it, pass protecting, catch the ball. I mean, he's got all the traits you want at running back. Obviously, he gets a lot of touches, both in the passing game and in the running game. So he's a tough guy to really know where he's going to be and what they're going to do with him from play to play.
What's the latest on Jake Brendel?
Yeah, we're just, I'd say week to week, but we're almost done with the week. So, we just had, in practice yesterday, we just had one of those situations that he's running and felt something. So we're just going to see how he progresses through the rest of the week.
Is this the same calf or a different calf?
Oh, you're putting it on me here. I think it's the same one.
When you said Howard was kind of watching things to see he's on par with everything, is there a likelihood he could play this week?
Yeah, that's what these guys do. They want to make sure that they, whether the guy ends up playing 1 week or not, it's still gaining knowledge, and it's football. Guys like being around it, and even though he can't practice, he still wants to take it all in. So, and I don't know kind of how this is going to go. Like I said earlier, we're going to do what's best for him to make sure that he's at the physical ability that he has, he can maximize that.
Would he be a player that you can foresee yourself playing if he didn't practice all week, or do you need him to test out the knee?
Yeah, if that point came about, we'd want to make sure that he's good.
How's Danny Amendola doing?
He seems like he's doing well. Him going out there and being able to run routes and practice, that's encouraging. Just keep an eye on it and just see how he feels tomorrow. And then same thing, just progress through the week and see where we're at on Sunday.
With the interior of the offensive line but having a rough game last week, how much of that is chemistry versus the players that you have in there, or I guess all the mismatching of?
I think some of it was we played a good defense. Their D-line's played well this year. That's one of the highest ranked defenses that we've gone against. So, we let those guys loose a couple times and they made some plays. And, the thing about it is you just got to keep battling, clean up technique, get your hands on those guys, use our size to our advantage. And we just didn't do a very good job of that last week.
With Swanson, is he looking better, healthier?
Yeah, he is. So that's a positive for us.
Adam, Sonny Michel was one for over 100 yards first time you guys faced him. What made him so effective?
He's a tough runner physically. He has really good vision. He picked up their system very quickly, for a young guy. Usually it takes time, but he was able to just jump right in there. That was one of the reasons that, we had him here and, visited with him and took a hard look at him. And, obviously they loved him too. And he's been a huge part of what they're doing this year.
Adam, I was talking to Kiko a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him about that play against Detroit where he bats down the pass, and offensive lineman, he's in midair, offensive lineman knocks him on his back, and I asked him if that pissed him off, and then Kiko says, nah, we got off the field on third down. And I said, but you were kind of an unprotected player, and Kiko goes, oh, I want football to be a bloodbath. Does that kind of square with your understanding of his attitude?
Is that how he said it?
Yeah, I mean, that's
yes.
That's exactly what he said. Doesn't that kind of square with your understanding of Kiko's football attitude?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I just can't picture him say it like that, but.
That's exactly how he said it.
He'll give you a blank look and he'll say, "What is it, bloodbath?"
That was exactly what he said. And so, well, let me ask you this: his success this year, do you attribute it more to an attitude like that, or physical gifts such as speed and things like that?
I think it's both. You know, his ability to run, hit, tackle. You know, he's sharp with what's going on within the game, what we're doing on defense. You know, sometimes it's like he has to find that right place for where it's that emotion, you know, amped up for the game and being able to kind of hyper focus on his job. And that's where sometimes he puts himself in a bad position where it's almost like he's too emotional and he's going so fast, and you know, that's where he's made mistakes in the past. And it's like finding that fine line. You see a lot of the, you know, top tier guys over time that could do both. And, you know, he's working to get there and trying to control the emotion and keep his focus. And, you know, but it's great to have a guy that with that kind of intensity and emotion throughout the game. That's a hard one to get over.
That was a yes. That was his vote, yes.
That's good.
Alright guys, you've reached the end of my video. This is the end of the interviews. I hope you enjoyed those. I hope you enjoyed my show. Also, as a whole, if you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Make sure you hit the like button. And please share your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. It's for you. This is for you. You know, and also follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. It's on the end screen. My Twitter handle is on the end screen if you need to know it. And with that, guys, I'm out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.